In today's video, we are rebuilding the new look LA Clippers. At the trade deadline, the Clippers traded away James Harden, in return bringing in Darius Garland, while also trading away Zubac for Benedict Mathurin and Isaiah Jackson. I'm not a big fan of the Zubac trade, but the James Harden for Garland trade I'm a huge fan of. The Clippers now have a young player they could build this team's future around in Darius Garland. That's exactly what we're going to be doing here in today's video. At the time of this recording, the Clippers are the number 8 seed with 35 wins and 36 losses. I don't have too many high hopes for this first season, so we're probably going to end up losing and not making the playoffs, but that is alright. We could possibly be a play-in team, not sure. We are currently past the trade deadline, so we will not be able to make any trades until the off-season, and as of right now, we are the number 8 seed with 35 wins and 36 losses, so we may be a play-in team, but even if we're not, that is okay. I don't see us being championship contenders for this first season. As of right now, this here is our lineup, so we are going to be running an 11-man rotation. I do want Kobe Sanders and Cam Christie a part of the rotation, giving them just a little bit of minutes so hopefully they can develop and go up in overall this coming off-season. Now I'm going to start simulating here until the end of this season, where we'll catch up at the awards. At the end of this season, Nikola Jokic goes on to win an MVP, Cooper Flag Rookie of the Year, Hami Hawkes 6-Man, Wemby Defensive Player, Bozelis Most Improved, Murray Clutch Player, Mark wins Coach of the Year, and the Thunder also win Executive of the Year. I don't know if we'll have any All-NBA selections. We may get ourselves Kawhi Leonard. Let's see if we do, and it looks like we do get Kawhi Leonard on an All-NBA third team. What about an all-defensive team? We also got Leonard on an all-defensive second team. We did end this season as the number 8 seed, so we are in the play-in tournament taking on the Phoenix Suns, who have themselves Colin Gillespie, Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks, Royce O'Neal, and Mark Williams. Let's see if we're going to be making the playoffs or are we going to be eliminated. The Phoenix Suns will have home court advantage. And so far, it looks like we are down, and we do end up losing this game 120 to 114. We almost came back in the fourth quarter, but sadly that was not enough. Kawhi had 34, Garland with 16 points and 13 assists. We will still have one more opportunity. We're either going to have to take on the Golden State Warriors or the Trailblazers, and it will be the Portland Trailblazers, and they go on to eliminate us. Okay, so I was not able to jump into Simcast. It simulated by itself, and the Trailblazers defeated us here in the play-in tournament, 109 to 99. And honestly, that is absolutely alright, because this team currently is not no championship contender. We're going to have to pull off trades this offseason, bring in some better talent, and then hopefully next season we can make the playoffs. Let's go ahead and simulate past this playoff round and see who goes on to win the championship. It will be the Timberwolves taking on the Knicks. It looks like the New York Knicks going to win a championship with Karl Anthony Towns winning Finals MVP against his former team. Before we go into the offseason, I would really appreciate it if y'all could drop a thumbs up on this video and subscribe if you haven't already. That really does support on my channel and video a ton. We currently have the Indiana Pacers first round pick, but keep in mind, if it is a top 4 pick, we're going to have to return it to the Pacers. If it falls out of the top 4, which I hope it does, that means our team will get to keep it and draft ourselves a new rookie. Let's see where it lands. Let's go ahead and skip to lottery results, and it ends up as the 5th overall pick. That is huge. If it landed in the top 4, we would have had to return it to the Indiana Pacers. We just got lucky there. One below top 4, landed on the 5th spot, and that means we're going to be drafting ourselves a new rookie. And honestly, that is so huge. Now we're going to be able to draft ourselves a rookie that will be a part of this future with Darius Garland and the Clippers. Let's see which players we will be able to draft. So Darren Peterson, Boozer, and Debonsa will most likely be in the top 3. So we will have options like Darius Akuff, Caleb Wilson, or Jaden. We will be keeping Ty Lue as our head coach, but obviously things could always change and we may have to move on from him. But as right now, I would like to see how things go with him as our head coach. Now let's go to the NBA draft and see which player we're going to be drafting. It is now time for the 2026 NBA draft. The first overall pick the Washington Wizards have, and they go on to take Cameron Boozer. The Utah Jazz have the 2nd overall pick. They take Darren Peterson. Let's see who the 3rd overall pick will be, and it's Darius Akuff. Okay, so that means AJ Debonsa is still on the board. Hopefully the Sacramento Kings do not take him. And of course, they take AJ Debonsa, which means we're going to have to draft ourselves a different player. I threw our 5th overall pick in Isaiah Jackson in Trade Finder, and the Sacramento Kings are offering us AJ Debonsa and Malik Monk. AJ Debonsa will develop more than any of the other rookies left on this board, so let's go ahead and pull off this trade and bring AJ Debonsa to our team. So that was a pretty successful 2026 NBA draft. We get ourselves AJ Debonsa, and I also drafted this dude here, Magoon. He's a 7-foot big man that could possibly develop into our backup center. Team player options, we will pick up the team option on Chris Dunn, Jordan Miller, Kobe Sanders, and we will let Bogdanovic go. We don't really need his $16 million on our books. In free agency, we do need to re-sign Benedict Mathurin, and he's asking for about $14 million, and honestly, I thought Benedict Mathurin would be asking for a lot more, so of course, we are going to go ahead and extend him, paying him about $15 million annually, signing him for the next 5 seasons, which he should go on to accept, and yes, he will, so we get Benedict Mathurin back on a 5-year, $87 million contract. We are also in need of a new starting center and a backup center, which we currently do not have, so I'm going to try bringing in Mitchell Robinson. We can never go wrong with him. He's one of the best offensive rebounders, plus he's a really good defender as well, so I'm going to go ahead and offer him a 4-year deal, paying him about $4 million annually. And I will also try bringing in Robert Williams III to be our backup center. We can offer him a minimum for the next 2 seasons. It looks like Mitchell Robinson and Robert Williams both will accept. Kawhi Leonard no longer fits our timeline. We are building a younger team around Darius Garland and our core, so I'm going to be targeting Scottie Barnes from the Toronto Raptors, where we send them Kawhi Leonard. Leonard has already won a championship with the Raptors, so maybe they want him back to go for another championship. Let's see if the Raptors will accept this trade, and yes, they do. We land ourselves Scottie Barnes as a brand new starting power forward. I am also going to be targeting Cason Wallace to be our brand new starting shooting guard. He's a really good defender, and I believe having a good defensive shooting guard in our backcourt beside Garland would be ideal. So we are offering the OKC Thunder Chris Dunn, Conan in a 2nd round pick, and it looks like they declined. They want Bradley Beal and Magoon for Nikola Topic. You know what? Let's go ahead and pull off this trade. We do not need Malik Monk on our team, so I will be sending him away to the Chicago Bulls, where we get in return a top 3 protected 2027 1st round pick, and we also land ourselves a 2nd rounder. Here we are at the start of this season with our new rotation. So in the starting lineup, we now have ourselves Darius Garland, Cason Wallace, AJ Debonsa, Scottie Barnes, and Mitchell Robinson. Then off the bench, we have Benedict Mathurin, Robert Williams III, Derrick Jones Jr., and Nikola Topic. There was quite a bit of progression from the younger players like Garland and Barnes, plus AJ Debonsa is still only a rookie. He's only going to get better and better each off season. Let's simulate the first few games of this season and see how we do. The first game against the Hawks, we end up winning 134-132. Benedict Mathurin dropped 29 points, 25 from Scottie, and a 22-point double-double from Garland. Let's see if we can also go on to defeat the Golden State Warriors, and we do end up defeating the Warriors 136-114. Scottie had a 30-point double-double, Garland with a 26-point double-double, and 24 from Benedict Mathurin. As of right now, we will be rolling with a 4-star overall system proficiency under Tyronn Lue. And now I'm going to start simulating here until the end of this season, but again, if there's any trades to be made, of course, I will stop at the trade deadline to show you all. Darius Garland would like to sign a contract extension with our team, and currently he doesn't want all that much money. He wants about $30 million annually, so we're going to go ahead and extend him for the next 2 seasons, which he goes on to happily accept. At the end of this season, Cade Cunningham goes on to win an MVP, and our boy AJ Debonsa wins Rookie of the Year. That is what I'm talking about. I thought it would have been going to Cameron Boozer or Peterson, but it looks like AJ Debonsa goes on to win Rookie of the Year. Jalen Green, 6-man, Wemby Defensive Player, Risa Shea Most Improved, LaMelo Ball Clutch Player, Ty Lue, our head coach, wins Coach of the Year. We also go on to win Executive of the Year. Let's see if we get any All-NBA selections here, and it looks like we do get Scottie Barnes on an All-NBA 2nd team. We also get Darius Garland on an All-NBA 3rd team. Do we get anyone on an All-Defensive team? Yes, we do. We land Scottie Barnes on an All-Defensive 2nd team. And we ended this season as the number 1 seed, winning 63 games and losing only 19. Our team was absolutely unstoppable here in the regular season. Let's see how Kawhi Leonard did. So it looks like the Raptors ended the season being the number 3 seed with Kawhi Leonard. So it was a win-win trade for both teams. Now, before we start simulating the playoffs, let's take a look at the regular season stats. So our leading scorer was Scottie Barnes. He had himself an MVP type of season. Bro was averaging 27 points per game, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 1.5 steal, 1.5 block, while shooting 54% from the field. And we really just unlocked Scottie Barnes, Darius Garland, and Benedict Mathurin's offense. Garland was playing amazing, averaging 24 points per game and nearly 9 assists per game on 50, 40, 88 shooting splits. 20 points per game from Benedict Mathurin as our 6th man on 50, 40, 85 shooting splits. And Bonsa had himself a phenomenal rookie season. I'm excited to see how next season for him will go. Looks like in the first round of the playoffs, we will be taking on the Phoenix Suns, who have themselves Devin Booker, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Rasheer Fleming, and Mark Williams. Let's see how we do here in the first round of the playoffs. Game number 1 will go to us. Garland dropping a 30-point double-double. AJ DeBonsa in his first playoff game drops 23 points. Game number 2 also goes to us. Garland with another 22-point double-double. Game 3, we do end up falling short here, 111 to 110. We lost by 1 single point. Garland played amazing, so did Scottie Barnes, but we do fall short. And Scottie Barnes has been struggling so far here offensively, but hopefully he's able to pick things up. In game number 4, which we do go on to win, Garland dropped 48 points, Scottie with 27, 13, and 8. Benedict Mathurin with 23 as our 6th man. Game number 5 will go to the Phoenix Suns. They win here by 1 point once again. Garland 36, Mathurin with 17. Let's jump into Simcast here for game 6 and see what happens. The Suns will have home court advantage. And so far it's a back and forth battle, and we do end up losing 131 to 117. Scottie played good, so did Mathurin, but we do fall short. And now I will be coming up with the defensive coach game plan. It is now time for Game 7, winner go home situation. Let's jump into Simcast here and see what happens. We will have home court advantage on our side. So far we do have the lead, but can we keep it is a question, and yes we can. We go on to win 135 to 114. Garland had 31, Scottie Barnes with a 30-point triple-double and 13 from Cason Wallace. And now we have made it to the second round of the playoffs, where we will be taking on the San Antonio Spurs. They have themselves De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, Vassell, Jonathan Kuminga, and Victor Wembanyama, as well as Dylan Harper coming off of their bench unit. Game number 1 will go to us. Scottie Barnes with a 43-point triple-double. Garland with 21 and 12. Game number 2 does end up going to the Spurs. They win here 137 to 131. Scottie has been playing amazing, put up 40 points here. Can we win game 3? And no, we cannot. It looks like the Spurs do end up winning here 134 to 89. Scottie played amazing, but sadly the rest of the team did not. Let's jump into Simcast for game 4 and see if we can top the series. The Spurs will have home court advantage here, and so far they do have the lead, but we take it right back from them and we go on to win 140 to 122. Scottie Barnes with 50 points, 22 from Mathurin and 22 from AJ DeBonsa. And now the series is tied at 2-2 apiece. Let's see if we can win this next game to go up 3-2. We will have home court advantage for game 5. And so far the Spurs do have the lead, and whoa, we came back there in the fourth quarter, winning this game by 1 single point. Scottie Barnes was our leading scorer with 34 points and 11 rebounds, 24 from Garland. All we gotta do now is win one more game, and then we'll be going to the Western Conference Finals. And it looks like we do go on to win by 3 points, 139 to 136. Scottie Barnes has been on fire. He just dropped 43 points. Garland with a 25-point double-double. And this is absolutely insane. Against the Spurs, our boy Scottie Barnes was averaging nearly 40 points per game. He's the main reason to why we won that series against the Spurs. Now let's see if we can also defeat the Timberwolves. It looks like we will be taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals. They have themselves Kobe White, Anthony Edwards, McDaniels, Julius Randle, and Naz Reid, as well as Rudy Gobert off of their bench unit. And in the Eastern Conference Finals, it looks like Kawhi Leonard and the Raptors have made it where they're taking on the Detroit Pistons. Let's see if we can defeat the Minnesota Timberwolves. Game number 1 will go to us. Garland with 35, Scottie with a 28-point double-double. Game number 2, the Timberwolves do go on to win here. Mathurin had 27, but we do fall short, 121 to 113. Game number 3 will also go to the Timberwolves, 140 to 121. I have now come up with a defensive coach game plan. Let's jump into Simcast and see if we can tie up this series. The Timberwolves do have home court advantage for this game. And it looks like we do end up losing 123 to 108. Garland had 29, but sadly now we are down 3-1. Will we be able to come back? It will be difficult, but it is possible. So far, we do have the lead for this game, and we do go on to win 123 to 118, Scotty dropping 39 points. If Scotty does what he did here against the Spurs, we can definitely come back. In Game 6, the Timberwolves will have home court advantage, and so far they do have the lead. It looks like we will be eliminated, losing here in Game 6, 135 to 128. Garland had 32 points, Mathurin with 23 and 22 from Scotty, but sadly that was not enough. Anthony Edwards wins Western Conference Finals MVP, Cade Cunningham Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Let's see which one of the two teams going to win, and it will be the Minnesota Timberwolves with Anthony Edwards winning Finals MVP. Let's take a look at the player stats before we go into the offseason. And don't forget, we still have one rookie in our starting lineup, AJ Debonsa. He's only going to get better this offseason, which in return will make our team a lot better. So in the playoffs, we played a total of 19 games, and in those 19 games, our leading scorer was Scotty Barnes, averaging 29 points per game, 25-point double-double from Garland, and 18 from Benedict Mathurin. It is now time for the 2027 draft lottery, and we may just end up with another lottery pick. We are projected with 7th best odds via the Chicago Bulls. If I'm not mistaken, this pick is a top 3 protected. Let's skip to lottery results and see where it ends up. It looks like that pick ended up as a 1st overall pick. Holy, so if that was not a top 3 protected pick, we would have ended up with it. We do have the 30th overall pick in the 27 draft. I'm going to go ahead and draft the highest overall player. We will be trading him away in a trade here soon. We also have a 2nd rounder, and once again, we're going to draft the highest overall player, which is Bryce James. And then for team player options, we will be picking up the team option on Nikola Topic. He was an amazing backup point guard to have on our team. He's a good playmaker, plus his offense was pretty good, and he's only going to get better this offseason. Qualifying offers, we do need to re-sign Cason Wallace, which will be a pretty big free agency signing for our team. He is a part of our starting lineup. I will also give Jordan Miller a contract and Kobe Sanders. Now let's see, we should have bird rights on Cason Wallace, which we do, and he wants about $13.5 million. So far, the Mavericks have offered him a contract, but he's a restricted free agent, so that means we're going to be able to re-sign him no matter what. This past season, we were one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the league, and having ourselves a floor-spacing big man like Kel'el Ware will definitely help out our team's offense a ton. I will be offering Kel'el Ware a 4-year contract where we pay him about $8 million annually, which hopefully he goes on to accept. I'm also going to go ahead and offer Cason Wallace a contract, a 4-year deal where we pay him $16.25 a year. It looks like both Kel'el Ware and Cason Wallace will be accepting those contracts. We are about to pull off a massive trade here with the Indiana Pacers, where we send them Mitchell Robinson and Robert Williams III for Ivica Zubac. Zubac could be our starting center, where we will have Kel'el Ware be the backup center, and our center rotation will definitely be some of the best in the entire league. So let's go ahead and pull off this trade. And the final trade of this offseason will be with the Portland Trail Blazers, where we send them John Collins and the rookie Jason Crowd Jr., where we bring in Tamani Kamara and a 1st-round pick. I want a defensive-minded backup power forward, and Kamara is a really good defender, so he'll definitely help out our defense a ton. And now here we are at the start of this season with our brand new upgraded 9-man rotation. So in the starting lineup, we now have Darius Garland, Cason Wallace, AJ Debonsa, Scotty Barnes, and Zubac. And then off the bench, we have Benedict Mathurin, Kel'el Ware, Tamani Kamara, and Nikola Topic. I believe this is going to be the season we win a championship. We have a really well put together team. Let's simulate the first few games of this season and see how we do. So the first game is up against the Houston Rockets, who we go on to defeat 142 to 102. We defeated them by 40 points. Scotty dropped 43, 23 from Mathurin, and 20 from Zubac. Let's see if we can also defeat the Philadelphia 76ers and the Golden State Warriors, and yes, we can. We scored 133 points here against the 76ers, where Scotty Barnes went off for 35 and a 24-point double-double from Garland. As of right now, we are rolling with a 4.5-star overall system proficiency balance under Ty Lue. I do believe Scotty Barnes has a chance of winning MVP if he can continue playing the way he's played throughout the first 3 games. But now I'm going to start simulating here until the end of this season, but if there's any trades to be made, I'll stop at the trade deadline to show you all. At the end of this season, Victor Wembanyama goes on to win an MVP, Christian Collins Rookie of the Year, our boy Benedict Mathurin goes on to win 6th Man of the Year, averaging 20 points per game on 50, 40, 88 shooting splits. Wemby also wins Defensive Player, Kasparis Most Improved, Anthony Edwards Clutch Player, Ty Lue Coach of the Year, and we also go on to win Executive of the Year. We do get ourselves... Never mind, I thought I seen Scottie Barnes. Okay, there he is. Scottie Barnes makes it on an All-NBA third team. I don't believe we get ourselves Darius Garland. Yeah, so we only get Scottie Barnes on an All-NBA team. Let's see if we get anyone on an All-Defensive team. And it looks like Scottie Barnes also makes it on an All-Defensive second team. And we ended this season being the #1 seed, winning 62 games and losing only 20. And before we start simulating the playoffs here, let's take a look at our player stats for the regular season. So our leading scorer was Scottie Barnes, averaging 25 points per game on really good efficiency, 23 from Darius Garland, as well as 9 assists, 20 from Benedict Mathurin, our 6th Man of the Year, and 14 from AJ Debonsa. Zubac and Kyle were amazing in that center role as well. And it looks like Kawhi Leonard and the Raptors end up as the #3 seed once again as well. And now it is time for the playoffs. In the first round, we will be taking on the Utah Jazz, who have Keontae George, Darren Peterson, Lauri Markkanen, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Kyle Filipowski. Let's see how things go here. Game #1 will go to us. Let's go. Scottie with 27, 26 from Mathurin, and 24. Game #2 will also go to us, 35 and 10 from Darius Garland, 20 from Scottie Barnes, and sorry if you guys heard that noise just a second ago, that was my headphones dropping. And now we are up 2-0, let's see if we can make that 3-0, and yes we can. Garland with 31 and 13, 28 from Scottie Barnes, and are we going to sweep the Utah Jazz? Yes we will. Game 4, Scottie went off for 38 points, Garland with a 23-point double-double, and just like that, we have made it to the second round of the playoffs. It looks like we are taking on the Golden State Warriors, who have themselves Donovan Mitchell, Jimmy Butler, Giannis, and Porzingis. Holy. Now, after taking a better look at the Warriors roster, this team is really well put together. This may be a really tough challenge. I hope not, but let's see how things go. Game #1 will go to us. Scottie with 30, 28 and 10 from Garland. And whoa, both teams scored below 100 points there. Game #2 does end up going to the Warriors. They win here by 1 single point. Can we go on to win game 3? And yes, we can. Scottie with 27, Garland with a 19-point double-double. And we only won by 4 points, so all of these games have been really close so far. Game #4 will end up going to the Golden State Warriors. They win here by 2 points. Garland had 34 and 26 from Scottie. I have decided to come up with a defensive coach game plan. I believe a defensive coach game plan is needed against this team. For game 5, we will have home court advantage. Let's see what happens here. So far, the Warriors do have the lead, and it looks like we will end up losing Game 5, 112 to 99. Donovan Mitchell, 23 and 20 from Porzingis. Alrighty, so I was taking a look at our players and seeing which players are playing good and bad, and AJ Debonsa has been playing horrible here in the playoffs, so he will be pushed to the bench unit, and we're going to add Tamani Kamara as the brand new starting small forward. He's a good defender, he's shooting 40% from the 3-point line. Let's see if that's going to help us tie up this series. The Warriors will have home court advantage, and so far we do have the lead. They take it from us, and now we're up by 15 points, 2 minutes remaining, and we go on to win 121 to 103. Scottie had 37, 23 from Garland, and 15 from Mathurin. It is now time for Game 7, winner go home situation. Let's see what happens here. We will have home court advantage on our side. Can we go out there and get this win? So far we do have the lead by quite a bit, and it looks like we go on to win 121 to 90. Our defense was phenomenal. Darius Garland with a 25-point double-double, Scottie Barnes with a 19-point double-double. And now we have made it to the Western Conference Finals, where we're going to be taking on the San Antonio Spurs, and they have themselves De'Aaron Fox, Castle, Vassell, Kuminga, and Victor Wembanyama, as well as a 91 overall Dylan Harper as their 6th man. That Warrior series went exactly how I had predicted. It was one of the toughest battles we have had in this video. The Now we're going up against Spurs, so let's see if we can defeat this team. Game number 1 will go to us. Garland dropped 35 points, Scotty with a 30-point double-double. We do end up losing game 2, 154 to 133. This team is really stacked. They're just as stacked as the Golden State Warriors were. Game number 3 also goes to the Spurs. They go on to win by 2 points, and now we need to come up with a defensive coach game plan. Defensive coach game plan has been set. Let's jump into Simcast and see if we can win this game. The Spurs will have home court advantage, and so far we do have the lead. And it looks like we will be winning 127 to 117. Scotty dropped 35, a 27-point double-double from Zubac. It looks like the Indiana Pacers are taking on the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now the series is tied at 2-2 apiece. We do have home court advantage for Game 5. And so far the Spurs are up on us. Can we come back? And no, we cannot. This time we lose 127 to 117. It looks like the Indiana Pacers already defeated the New York Knicks, making it to the NBA Finals, but now we need to tie up this series because we are down 3-2 and the Spurs will have home court advantage for Game 6. So far we do have the lead, but can we keep the lead is the question. We are up by 16 points, 5 minutes remaining, and we do go on to win 141 to 119. Garland with 43 points, Scotty with 40. Let's go. Another Game 7 series, winner go home situation. Let's see what happens. And thankfully we do have home court advantage on our side, and we do start off the first quarter pretty strong, but they are kind of starting to push back here. Never mind, we end up winning 155 to 116. Let's go. Scotty dropping 34 and 10, 28 from Mathurin, 23 from Zubac, and a 22-point double-double from Garland. And Scotty Barnes was phenomenal. He goes on to win Western Conference Finals MVP, averaging 35 points per game against the Spurs. Tyrese Haliburton, Eastern Conference Finals MVP. It looks like Scotty has something against the Spurs. Last year against the Spurs, he did the same, averaging nearly 40 points per game. This time he was averaging 35 points per game. And now in the NBA Finals, we are taking on the Indiana Pacers, who have themselves Tyrese Haliburton, Tim Hardaway Jr., Jarris Walker, Pascal Siakam, and Mitchell Robinson. And this is their bench unit. They still have Robert Williams III and Mitchell Robinson as their center rotation. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1 will go to us. Let's go. Garland dropping 31, 25 from Scotty, a 20-point double-double from Zubac on his former team. Game number 2 also goes to us. Garland with a 33-point double-double, 32 and 10 from Scotty. We also go on to win game 3, and yes, we can. Scotty with 38 and 10, 26 from Garland. Are we going to go on to sweep the Indiana Pacers? And yes, we do, to win the Los Angeles Clippers a championship. Scotty Barnes wins Finals MVP, averaging 29 points per game, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, and 1.5 blocks per game. And honestly, that was a really tough playoff run. First the Warriors made it difficult for us, and then the San Antonio Spurs, but thankfully we defeated both teams, and now defeating the Pacers to win the Clippers a championship. And now before I end out this video, let's take a look at the player stats for the playoff. So in the playoffs, we played a total of 22 games, and in those 22 games, the leading scorer on our team was Scotty Barnes, averaging 30 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. Darius Garland was averaging 26 and 9, 15 from Benedict Mathurin, and a 14-point double-double from Zubac. In the NBA Finals, we played a total of 4 games, and in those 4 games, Darius Garland was the leading scorer, averaging 32 points per game. 28 from Scotty, and 17 from Benedict Mathurin. I'm also really glad we traded for Zubac. He has been phenomenal for us here in the playoffs and in the regular season. But now that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button, and also subscribe if you're new for more NBA 2K26 rebuilds. Click here on the screen to watch my latest upload. Until next time, it's your boy Dragon, and I'm out. Peace.